Hello and welcome to the podcast edition of the Young Conservation Scientist Conference 2017. My name is Sian and I'll be presenting the 5 podcasts in this series. The Young Conservation Scientist Conference is a 3-day event at the Saranuri University of Technology in Thailand. It has brought together like-minded people, all with the hope of conserving the fauna and flora of Southeast Asia. We were fortunate enough to have received talks from some of the leading conservation and research experts in the region. The audio of each talk has been recorded, so I'm delighted to be able to share these with you today. In this podcast, you will be able to listen to the talk given at the conference, and at the end I'll discuss the questions asked by the audience with the speaker. Mr. Surachit Waengsothorn is the Director of Surachit Environmental Research Station in Nakhon Ratchasima, Thailand. Director Surachit is a specialist in forestry, with his main interest lying in wildlife ecology, biodiversity and wetland conservation, which is what he has been working on here in northeastern Thailand. Please welcome Mr. Surachit Waengsothorn.
Today I will be talking about the role of biosphere reserve to maintain diversity. Alright, you will know that UNESCO, they launched the MAB or Biosphere Research Program a long time ago, maybe 1977 if I remember correctly. So this area across the global, so they have a major role to maintain the diversity of our world. So the keyword today, I will let you know about the biosphere research, what it is, where are they, how many of them, and another one is I will talk about the diversity. What is the diversity associated with the UNESCO, and I will provide you the information about the case study of BRs in Thailand or biosphere research. I will specifically specify on Surachit Environmental Research Stations. So biosphere research, they launched by UNESCO in 1971. But the Surachit itself launched in 1969 or 1967, long before the UNESCO. So it's, right now Surachit is almost 50 years. So biosphere reserve is under it's called Man and the Biosphere Program, which is whatever the platform that's launched by the UNESCO, they will involve with man, environment, and sustainable. So many platforms of them, such as World Heritage Park, Ramsar Site, or even the Geopark. So everything that's launched by UNESCO will get involved with man, with nature, and sustainable. You see, because the conservation of biological culture, diversity, and economic and social development is the main goal of Man and Biosphere Reserve. If you see the UNESCO is stand for UN plus E in this form education, N is from S is from scientific, and C is from the culture. So it's put everything together. So right now the biosphere reserve that's across the globe, there are distribution from the top of the hill until to the sea. So we have like a terrestrial, we have marine, we have coastal ecosystem. So this area is to promote sustainable of biodiversity conservation. As I tell you before, everything that's launched by UNESCO is involved to man, nature, conservation, and sustainable. And so far, we have a totally 1969 biosphere reserve in 120 countries, and including 16 transboundary sites. That means the site that have at least 2 countries. So if you look at this slide, you will see that 70 of them from South Africa, 30 from Arab states, 142 just from Asia Pacific, and in Europe they have like 302 of them, and North America. So and the last one 125 from Africa and Caribbean. So if you take a look on this picture, you will see that. You will see that this area of the reserves across the globe from Southeast Asia until to the North America. So this one is going to be make you more picture about this. So here, this is Thailand, India, Africa, South America, and North America. So you will see that the man biosphere reserve is everywhere. It's another kind of conservation area of the world. So in the man and biosphere reserve itself, from the UNESCO, they divide in 3 areas. So the first one is called core area. Core areas. Core area is very strictly protected. And the second one is the buffer zone, so they have some activity in the buffer zone. And the last one is called the transition area. So this area is where we have people activities right over there, people who live in there, this area for this the culture and the social, cultural, and ecological sustainable right over there. So, and how Biosphere Reserve get involved with SDG or UNESCO Sustainable Development Goal. So UNESCO, they launched this kind of the goal between in 2015 to 2030. So they have a 17 goal of SDGs, but I'm not so sure in the next 15 years they can make it, but at least, like the first goal is no poverty. I think it's quite hard to meet that goal because only 15 years I think we're gonna meet that. So and we have so many right over here, and what we have is so 17 of them. So and man biosphere reserves, they have the plan for this too. So in 2015, the MAB they adopt the new strategy. And that strategy, they make a plan, they call Lima Action Plans, so which will be applied in 2016 to 2025. So this plan is endorsed by the 4th World Congress of Biosphere Reserve in Lima, Peru in March 2016. So if you look at the Lima Action Plan, so at the first line of the plans, they mention about SDGs. So SDGs right now in Thailand get involved in every single organization. Also in the TISA, they put SDG in their plan. So how to get the man biosphere reserve in this our world? So we have to. They have a form that's called Biosphere Reserve nomination form. So you have to fill that form and then keep following the Article 5 of that the frameworks. So there's some detail, but I won't talk it about right here. So you have to apply for them and send it to the Secretary's Office of UNESCO. So when we have a new MAB, we have some of them just withdraw from the World Network of Biosphere Reserve. So so far, 18 sites has been withdrawn, and in 7 countries. So we have a newcomer, we have someone to leave. And as I told you before, the UNESCO, when you talk about UNESCO, UN, it means United Nations. E is stand for education. S, scientific, and C from culture. So everything is, when we talk about the UNESCO, we talk about 3 things. So, and in terms of diversity that I mentioned about in the first slide, man biosphere reserve and diversity. So we about the UNESCO, we talk about 2 diversity. It's culture diversity and biodiversity. So biodiversity we divide in 3 classes. It's ecological diversity, species diversity, and genetic diversity. So when we talk about the diversity, we talk about these 2 things in UNESCO. So how MAB maintain this diversity. So I'll show you again about this map. You will see that the MAB is across the world. So So you can imagine that how MAB can protect those diversity. We have different culture, we have different country, we have a different continent. So, or even in the same country, we still have the different culture. So MAB is around the world like this. So you can imagine that how MAB can maintain diversity in this whole world, including cultural diversity and biodiversity. So if you look at in the global scale, you will see the hotspot. The hotspot are mostly across the line like this, equator lines. This is the hotspot of this whole world. This data is from CEPF, Critically Ecological Partnership Fund. So the biodiversity hotspot is home about endemic species, which we have covered about 2% of this whole world right now. And each hotspot is extremely fit and lost at least 70% of original vegetation. That means the hotspot in this world is already destroyed. 3/4 has been destroyed. So over 50% of the plant species and 42% of terrestrial vertebrate species endemic to 36 hotspot. And if we look at the Thailand right now, so the critical ecosystem CEPF, critical ecosystem partnerships. So in Thailand right now become another hotspot. That's why the MAB or even other conservation area in Thailand is most important for to maintain the biodiversity in the hotspot. So here I'll get back to the BR in Thailand in the country scale. So we have 4 BR. We have Skarat, the first one that's designated in 1967. We have Mae Sa Hoi Kok Ma BR. We have Hoi Thak Thik, and we have Ranong. We have only 4. So the last one we got in 1987, almost 30 years ago. So after that, we're sleeping for like 30 years. We don't do anything about our BRs. Last couple of years, our friend from Vietnam just say that, hey, wake up Thailand, so you have to get a new BR. Because right now, Vietnamese, they have 9 of them, 9 BR. So, and this year, I think the committee, the Thai BR committee, they're gonna submit 2 more area. And we have like 2 or 3 administrative agencies to take care of the RBR. So for the most of them is taken care by DNP or Department of National Park, Wildlife and Plant Conservation. These are in the north of Thailand, Mae Sa, Kok Ma, and Hoi Thak Thik. And TISTR run Skarat Biosphere Reserve, and another one is Ranong BR. Ranong is in the area of Ranong is mangrove forest, so it's under the Department of Marine and Coastal Resources. Mae Sa and Hoi Kok Ma, Mae Sa is most of the area is covered by hill evergreen forest. Hoi Thak Thik is the teak plantation in the national park of Kedanen. So Skarat, the 2 main ecosystem is dry evergreen forest and dry dipterocarp forest. So for BR, we cover the main ecosystem in Thailand so far, but we still have some more. So when we're talking about the hotspot in Thailand, we're talking about the forest area. In the last 4 decades, we lost like 5,000 hectares of our forest area. So far we have only 16, or about 31% of the country. So of course, to prevent loss of the diversity is become the national issue. And then we protect them by set up more conservation area. So the policy of DNP or Department of National Park so far, they have to make the forest area for 40%. The goal is 40%. So we are in Thailand, we talking about the protected area. So actually we can define in two main type. The first one is owned by the government. This area designated by using our law. So we have like two main laws. Right over here is National Park Act and Wildlife Protection Act. And another one is maybe not important in our opinions, but it's still important across the globe because the area is dependent on international obligation. So if you think about the Ramsar site, so this former Ramsar Convention and other UNESCO platform like the World Heritage. So and what's it Geopark. So in Kolkata Sima we have a World Heritage Park. So we have a Biosphere Reserve, and they want to have like a Geopark. So they want to have a tree platform from UNESCO. So if you look at the protected area in Thailand so far, mostly in the north of Thailand, in the mountains area, and we have totally 127 national park or 62,000 kilometers. We have 58 wildlife sanctuary, almost about 36. Almost about 37 square kilometers and non-hunting area, 18 of them, 2,000 square kilometers so far. And another conservation area that maybe people that don't know about this, the area is under the Princess Sian Princess program. This is called the Planetary Conservation Project under the Royal Initiative of Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn. Is very long name. So, but actually in Thai people they know it's in Oposotor. So this area so far I think they just start. They have a few of them, but these are very good protected. People who working around that area, they are pay more attention to protect diversity in the areas. Because I used to work in two areas of them in Sinakrin Dam and in Sayok. So I'll get back to our station, Surachit Environmental Research Station, right over here. Is the first man and biosphere reserve of Thailand. So right here we have man and biosphere reserve. This area right there. And we have Surachit Environmental Research Station just right here. So up here we have a non-hunting area. Right here is Khao Yai National Park, and we have here is a Tablan National Park. So here is a communities area and agriculture area. So if you look at this, so we have core area mostly in our research station. So we have a buffer zone is just right here, and right here is a transition area of our MB. And so Surachit, they have three types of land use. The dominant three types of not land use, three types of the area. The first one is protected area. We have two national parks, Khao Yai National Park and Thaplan, and one hunting area. So up there is Pa Phu Luang non-hunting area. So we have agriculture area, which is including orchard, cassava, and paddy field, and we have at least 150 communities living in the Biosphere Reserve. So here I show you, here is a Surachit Research Station. Up here is a non-hunting area. Here is Khao Yai National Park. Here is Thaplan National Park. So you will see it exactly here, Skara Environmental Research Station is the heart of the conservation around here. So it's the connection between these two conservation to the major conservation in Thailand. So here, this area, Khao Yai National Parks, so they are natural world heritage from UNESCO. And we have here is a Biosphere Reserve from UNESCO. That's why the Korat province, they want to have another one is a geopark from UNESCO. So they want to have a 3 count of that. So get back to Skara Environmental Research Station. So what we have right here is we have about 78 kilometers. So this found in 1967 by the cabinet. So long, maybe about 10 years long before the UNESCO. So this year going to be 50 years of us. So located in the national park, in the national reserve forest, and we had a permit from Royal Forest Department to conduct our research and support the research. And it is the first man and Biosphere reserve of Thailand. So the mission is Skara Our Reserve. Our reserve is the first one is to protect the forest area. So you know what? Since we found SESR, we never lost even single area of forest. So we have the forest is get recovered and recovered. So the forest area will get more and get more. So another mission is to conduct and support research. So we have a researcher maybe researcher and volunteer in the station, maybe about 45 of them, I think so far, and we have like 45 research topics conducting in Skara right now. And another one is to provide ecotourism. Also, we try and have a transfer knowledge and science and technology to the people, especially to via the campsite to the children. And dominated by 2 major ecosystems, as I told you, one is dry evergreen forest and dry deep forest. So I won't talk about the grassland, I won't talk about the other small area. So in the dry evergreen forest, the cloud culture is about 85%. That means the light come to the earth, they're trapped by the tree in this forest, and tree they have shed their leaf all year long. So you didn't see the difference along across the year, the difference of the tree in the forest. So so the dominant species in dry forest is Biosphere. This tree is what you call? It's protected species, and the Department of Forestry, no, the Department of Royal Forest, they set up the rotation of logging for this species 100 years. This means the tree has been cut after 100 years when you're growing. But from our research, we found that the dimension of the tree, the girth about 150 centimeters, they take more than over 330 years, almost the 4 times of the regulation is provided by Forest Department of Royal Forest. So this is very, very slow growing. So in the dry forest, the crop culture about 45 to 50%, and this obviously changes based on the season across the year. So you see that. So leaf the change color in early winter, and trees start to shed their leaf. So it starts to turn yellow and red. And in the dry season, everything's completely dry. So they tree normally they shed their leaf between September to March, and they produce the litter about 17,000 tons per year. This means they shed their leaf, they shed their twig, they shed their everything right over there about just in Skara only 17 tons per year. And in the dry season, we normally have a forest fire. The seedling, the small plants, has get burnt and die, but the roots still dry over there. The roots still keep growing and growing and growing and growing every single year. So it will take about 7 years to grow up and escape from the fire. So tree over here have a thick bark. That means to prevent the heat from fire, from forest fire. It's kind of like a specific characteristic of the tree in the Tradituka forest. So in this forest, the tree is slow growing. So we have Shoria siamensis, which is the fastest growing species in this forest. So diameter about 30 centimeter. It takes about 115 years. It's about this big. It takes 115 years. So in the rainy season, they get back to the normal. The forest to get recovered. So in this area, in this forest, I told you this is changed every. If you stay right there, you will see it's changed every single day, from day to day. All right. And another one is the grassland. Is previously is agricultural area. Says right now it's under succession, but it's small area. So I'm talking about the biodiversity in this station. So we have like 490 species of vertebrate and 418 species of invertebrates, 75 of mammal, 250 of bird, and we have 92 of reptile and 29 species of amphibian. So this this number is quite out of date. We need to revise this again. Also in the invertebrate, we have like 150 species of butterfly, 137 of ant. We have 48 species of soil mite. We have 25 species of snail, 38 species of beetle, 21 species of earthworms. So actually, we have still have more than this. So for the threatened species, we have one species is critically endangered. It was Sunda pangolins or Menis javanica, and we have 3 species of vulnerable. It's a Bengal slow loris, and it's a sun bear, and we have a Asiatic black bear. And we have one reserve species according to a Wildlife Protection Act. It was Chinese sirao. So the new species. So the new species that is found in Scarra is that make Scarra become a type locality of a species. So we have one mammal. It's a Ratana Varapan fruit bat. We have 6 reptiles. We have like 1 amphibians. The last one that we know that coral big mouth frog. And for the endemic species, so far we have the 4 endemic species to Scarra or to Thailand. It's coral blind snake. We have Osaki blind snake. We have coral breathing snake skin. And coral big mouth. So this one is found only in Thailand. So other attraction species here, the fireback pheasants, the Thai national bird. So Scarra has become the best location for bird watching around the country. So this species is least concerned in IUCN red list and vulnerable in Thailand red data. And also another one is coral bill ground cuckoo. So least concern in IUCN red list, vulnerable in Thailand red data. So it's quite hard to find this species. And for the threatened flora in Scarra Environmental Research Station, so we have endangered species like a Hopiophoria, Hopia odorata, Apsilia salocaba, Dipterocarpus turbinatus, and Choria roxburghski. And we have only two species of vulnerable is double geocogenesis, or we know it is payung, which is highly demand in the illegal market. And we have a cycas siamensis, it's like a fern. That is for my presentation. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Director Surachit Waengsothorn, for your talk on the importance of biosphere reserves in maintaining biodiversity. And thank you for coming to the conference to give your presentation as well. So firstly, in the work that you've carried out so far, what do you find has been the biggest challenge when successfully managing protected areas?
Yeah, the biggest problems is going to be the most challenge of us. The bigger problem is, I talked before, is about the poverty of people that's living around the conservation area. So if we can solve this kind of problem, I think we can protect our area more and more. But anyway, some people in the area, they help us to protect the area, but some of them, they don't.
Okay, great. And can you think of other ways in which you can work with local people to try and help reduce the friction between biosphere reserves and
Yeah, public education is going to be the best way to do that. So if they know how important of the conservation area in their whole life, how the conservation area support their life or support their livings. So people, as I told you, some people did realize about this to help us to protect the conservation area. But some of them, they don't know how important are they, or even they know, but the poor of the poverty of the poor people, they still need something from the conservation area, because once you get one animal, you save a lot of money, so you can feed for your whole family for the 1 day or 2 days.
Regarding the geoparks in Thailand, how many are there currently, or how many are there about to be implemented, and how long does that take for that period to happen?
It's hard to say, because not to me, I think one site in Stone, in the southern part of Thailand, they already proposed that, but they are in the process. I'm not so sure how long it's going to take. And another one, they are preparing data to propose the second one in Korat province, because Korat province, they want to have a tea crown of UNESCO. You see, we have like a natural world heritage, we have man and biosphere reserve, and they want to have a geopark, because in this whole world they have only 8 cities, they have a 3 crown. But maybe in the future they may have the 4 crown Ramsar site. Khao Yai National Park can be the Ramsar site.
So does it benefit an area if they've got the backing of a big corporation like, or NGO like UNESCO?
Yeah. Actually, it's really help because it means we can push our area to the global touch. So we can use this kind of area, Biosphere area, to educate people and let them know. So we are the important area in this whole world. But the problem in Thailand was about the conservation area that's deployed according to UNESCO platform. They don't do about that. They didn't do about that. Like Ramsar site, when I go to Ramsar site, it's a non-hunting area. They just say, this is non-hunting area. No mention about the Ramsar site. In the 3 of BRs in Thailand, in the northern part and in the south, they just didn't mention about this is man and biosphere reserve. Only Surachit, we put that very big post and we promote the MAB in Thailand. So that's why right now Surachit is quite famous, and so many kids come in to join our science camp. Yeah.
That's really good.
It's helped a lot if we use it.
Yes, definitely. And finally, what advice would you have to give to a young conservationist?
Actually, we really, reality, we need more conservationists who work in Thailand. The young one, they are very fresh. They have the new idea to protect our conservation area. But the problem is, for the job in the future, they might have a problem. So many people, they stay away from the conservation line, go to another business. So we lost most of them. Actually, they are very important to protect our protected area. So the career is not good for them.
Right.
Yeah, we really need to make a new job, to make a career for them, to support them.
Yes.
But in our country, we still have problem about the job.
Great. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank the participants for their questions. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, YCS Conference, so you don't miss out on the other 4 plenary talks. The Young Conservation Scientists Conference 2017 was hosted by Saranuri University of Technology, Thailand's Institute of Scientific and Technological Research, and the National Science and Technology Development Agency. And of course, this weekend couldn't have happened without the support of our funders, Technopolis at Saranuri University of Technology, The Mall, Nakhon Ratchasima, John Venture Capital Incorporated, and the Siam Commercial Bank. Thank you.